Kayako knew from childhood what loneliness was. Her parents had ignored her existence since the day she was born. For them, she was nothing but a shadow, an empty spot in the house. At school, the girl was bullied, mocked for her odd introversion and lack of friends. It was as if she lived in her own world where no one ever reached out to help her. When Kayako grew up, fate brought her together with a man named Takeo Saiki. She believed that he was her salvation, her first and only light. They married, and soon they had a son whom they named Toshio together. It seemed that life finally had found meaning, but behind this illusion of happiness hid a black abyss. One day, on a quiet and ordinary afternoon, Takeo accidentally came across her diary. In his fevered imagination, what was written became proof of her infidelity. The suspicion ignited a fury in him so intense that he lost all traces of humanity. When Kayako came home, her husband was waiting for her in the bedroom, clutching a knife. His eyes were empty, like those of a beast driven mad by the scent of blood. He lunged at her, shouting. The blade sank into her flesh. The stabs were merciless, and little Toshio stood in the doorway, watching his mother bleed. Kayako screamed, but there was more terror than pain in her voice. She knew there was no way to escape. She tried to flee, stumbling and leaving crimson stains across the floor. Kayako slid down the stairs. Her breathing became ragged. Every breath came out as a painful gasp. But Takeo was close by. He grabbed her by the hair and yanked her back violently. A crack rang out and her neck broke. Her body hung there, but Kayako was still alive. The only sound she could make was a sickening, grating noise like a death rattle stuck in her throat. Takeo, without a shred of pity, dragged her upstairs. He stuffed his still-living wife into a black garbage bag as if she were trash and left her to die in the attic. There, in the darkness, she slowly suffocated, clutching at the plastic with her fingers until her final gasps tore her life away. Then he seized Toshio. The boy screamed and begged for mercy, but his father, without hesitation, drowned him in the bathtub. The boy thrashed about. His small hands clawed at the air, but soon the water became still. He hid the body in a closet, as if it was something unwanted. But death did not bring silence. Kayako's torment birthed a monster. Her hatred and anguish became a curse that burst upon the house. At night, Takeo heard a familiar rasping in the darkness. It stretched out from behind the walls of the rooms. He turned and saw her. Kayako was crawling toward him, broken with a twisted neck, and from her tangled, blood-soaked hair, dark strands stretched out, seeming to live a life of their own. She didn't walk. She crawled, dragging death behind her. Takeo screamed, but the hair wrapped around his throat. It tightened more and more until a cracking sound echoed. His body was later found on the street, and the police assumed he had committed suicide. No one realized that this was just the beginning. From then on, the Seiki house became a trap. Her eternal rasp settled in it, long dull, as if coming from underground. Those who step across the threshold first hear that sound, and then they see her. Kayako, drenched in blood, crawling down the stairs, reaching for the living, with a broken neck and the unforgettable crunch of bones